Hello, darlings. Welcome or welcome back to Cellulite and Love Tarot, or Hillary for short. Hope that you're doing fantastic. We're going to see the person on your mind and their current energy towards you. I'm going to start with the overall energy of this connection. Just get a card or two, and then we'll get into the tarot, okay? All right, Spirit, tell me the energy of this connection. Waves. It flew out reversed to me as the reader. So I feel like you may feel like this relationship has been up and down, okay? You or this person could have attachment issues, one of you specifically anxious attachment style. But since this flew out reversed to me as the reader, I feel like there's an understanding between the both of you now. There's this... If there isn't like an open understanding between the both of you, then that's where the energy is right now, is closing the gap here in understanding. There's this desire to like release the fear of this connection, to not worry so much about it, stop complicating it. One or both of you in this connection could be like trying to look at it more pragmatically, objectively, okay? Rather than letting temporary emotions or thought patterns kind of sway the outcome here. Is there anything else here for the energy of this connection? Masculine energy. Okay, authority, discipline, father figure. So specifically, if there is a masculine involved in this connection here, if it's not an actual like male, genders are neither here nor there for the reading. You need to apply it in the context of your own situation. But whoever's been trying to sort of take the lead here or sort of call the shots, this person could recognize that they have been doing that from a sense of insecurity, anxiety, attachment wound, okay? But with the masculine energy coming out upright, I feel like this person, especially like they're not very clothed, okay? So they've got their pants on, thank heavens. But like what's being revealed here is the heart space, the upper chakras. So this person is very much like, I want to be more vulnerable with my heart, speak my truth, share how I think about things, get aligned with myself, and then the lower chakras will come later, right? This person, this figure does look very like, what's the word? Contemplating a lot, okay? I feel like whoever the feminine energy is in this connection, a lot of your fear and worry has been that you've wanted to trust this person, but maybe there's not been a stable foundation or a way to tread the water of this relationship in a way that was actually safe. Both of you right now are in this place where you want to trust the other, and you want to trust the ability to make a solid foundation built upon integrity and security, and really like determination here. Okay, let's get the tarot. Legal, lawyer's court paperwork. One or both of you could be wanting to make this more legally official in some way, or there is this energy of like this being at the bottom of the deck. It could be subconscious energy, so just sort of looking at what you're tied to. This could be karmic ties as well. Figuring out what truths you're assigning yourself to, okay? Sometimes I wish I could word things just like a little bit more like a normal person. I feel like, can I say that in a more normal human way, please? It's all about belief system. What you say is true, what you believe is true, how you're perceiving your life and your circumstances. So there's this like taking a second look at, is what I believe to be factual and true about this person or this connection, is that true? Are my fears lying to me? Are my worries lying to me? What would it take to build trust in a situation where both of us have trust issues? That type of energy. Okay. What is this person's energy, the person on your mind? What is their current energy? Hanged Man and the Six of Wands. This person could be putting themselves in a timeout because they have been navigating an ego, they feel like. But they also feel like they want an opportunity to show you the way that they think differently now. Okay? It's two things. The Hanged Man intentionally puts themselves in an uncomfortable position to see things from another angle. So this person could, for the first time, be considering your perspective. And I don't want to misconstrue that as like your perspective is the only perspective that matters. But this person could be saying, I never once even thought to consider your perspective before. I never thought to look at things through your eyes, to put myself in your shoes. I just was thinking about what felt good for me. I was thinking about making sure that I felt like I was on my game, that people were recognizing me. I could have done things for attention, could have needed a lot of attention. And I never thought about how you would have experienced that next to me. This person could feel like any silence between you, any space between you, is an opportunity for them to actually consider the perspective of others. I don't feel like this person really much cared for that before. Again, there was this feeling of like possibly this masculine energy. These figures are masculine in these cards. We have masculine energy. So whoever was trying to dominate and control the pace, the timing, the progression, whoever was feeling like they had more control over the connection, they're just like, I only thought about me in that. They really want your admiration and your recognition. But I think what's important about like the Six of Wands, from a non-ego standpoint, in this depiction of the Six of Wands, it is a soldier returning home from battle. Someone who has been serving their country, essentially. So they are being celebrated as thank you for doing everything that you've done to keep us safe. You know, it's like this person has acted honorably in order to receive that recognition. From this hangman perspective, it's almost like, have I been doing what the way I was leading here? Was that thinking about the connection and everyone involved, and you know, was that keeping everyone's heart safe or thinking about everyone, or was that just thinking about me? Okay. All right. We got the World at the bottom as well. So this person is thinking about what they want to achieve in their life, what success means for them, what recognition means for them, how they would feel empowered and like they've really done something to the best of their ability. They want to feel like they have, I want to say, earned the recognition. Okay. They are wanting something successful here, but they're having to think about it from your perspective as well. Okay? What are their current feelings towards you? Queen of Swords. Well, this person is viewing you in a very honest energy. I don't think that you have minced your words with this person at all. I think you're a very clear communicator, and they are viewing you as having some very strict boundaries and standards, okay? There could be a level of intimidation here. Nine of Swords. There is a level of intimidation here. I think as this person is reflecting on possibly your perspective and they're imagining how it would have been in your shoes and how it would have been for you, it really worries this person because they never thought about it before. So this is the first time that they're actually considering maybe the amount of hurt that you have felt. Okay? There's also something about like you knowing the truth the whole time. They do feel worried about a conversation with you now that they've considered your perspective. And I think that has everything to do with this person being like, now that I've felt what they felt, I don't think there's any way in hell I would give someone even the chance to explain themselves or approach me. You could have transformed the way that you think or view the situation. There's butterflies on her crown. So it's like this person's torn between their own perspective and your perspective. They could be more rigid, more set, and that's why maybe changing their perspective or seeing things from other people's perspective has been a challenge for them. Okay? So with that same rigid belief system, now thinking about your perspective and how you would have experienced this connection or this person, their ego, their domination, them not considering you, they're kind of mixing your perspective with their perspective, and they're just like, if I was in that situation with anyone, there's no way I would have a conversation with them. There's no way you would hear me out. I think, let's just see, what's your energy about this? Page of Swords. Exactly. So I think what this person doesn't realize about you, Seven of Pentacles, what they're not taking into consideration about your perspective is that it was never meant, you never wanted it to be your way or the highway. That's this person's energy. They've wanted things to be their way or the highway. I call the shots. I progress things when I want or don't. No one asks me anything. I'm in control. If you ask me anything, maybe you're cut out. I'm not considering you. I'm only considering me. Okay? So this person projecting that onto you is not even taking into account how you handle this. Okay? Maybe because there's an up level and you are standing more empowered and you do have more firm boundaries. But what they're not seeing or appreciating right now is that you have always been and you will always be someone curious, patient, and willing to see their side. Okay? I feel like you're someone who has always been intrigued as to why this person does things the way that they do things. And I think at some point you're just like, you could have really been up in your head like, I just don't understand why you're doing this, because I know that deep down you want something healthy and stable. You want something valuable. You want to be able to look back at your life and say, I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of the work that I've put in. I'm proud of the patience that it took for me to grow and evolve. I know that this is what you want, so I'm not really sure why you're not taking the time or being patient. You're doing the exact opposite thing of the thing that you want to do. And I'm curious about that. You've always been curious about why this person thinks the way that they think. Okay? With this level of empowerment this person is viewing you in, and this sense of curiosity and wonder and patience, you could also be at a place in your life right now where you're just like, maybe I'll never understand why this person does this. Maybe I'll never understand. I can try my best, but maybe I just won't understand why that person navigates that way. And you in your current energy, you could also be saying, at some point I have to recognize when I've been patient long enough. Sometimes I just need to take a break from trying to understand and just kind of think about, is this actually benefiting me or not? And not that you're only thinking about what's benefiting you, but we're all responsible for the outcome of our life and what we want to create and build for our life. And I feel like you're just like, how long am I willing to wait for this person to show that they're actually going to be taking steps and doing the necessary things to create longevity and healthy connection here. You could be at a place where you're just like, I'm not sure how much longer I'm willing to wait. I do like that energy. I think it's really important, especially if there's like, if waiting is part of something, you have to be able to look objectively at a situation, no matter what the connection is, and say, okay, but I do have goals that I want to achieve in my life. I have things that I want to build. I want to build a family, or I want to build some sort of like empire. I want to, create a business. I need that stability and that reliability in my life. That is a priority of mine. And am I flushing my dreams down the toilet, just waiting and hoping for someone to kind of get on the same page? So I do feel like you're in a place where you're like, I'm setting a time limit for how long I'm willing to wait. And if the timer runs out, then I just have to release that and trust that I've got other things coming in for me. I'm curious about what other opportunities there are. I can accept people for who they are. I may not fully understand their perspective or why they would push something away that they say they want, but maybe I don't have to understand that. Okay? Okay. How does this person feel about you? Wow. King of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Magician. And the Wheel of Fortune is on the bottom. Isn't it funny? This other person is supposed to be in they've wanted to be the masculine energy, the leader, the one calling the shots, okay? And yet how they feel about you is that you've really been the one leading this whole time. Masculine, masculine, masculine. You could be very balanced in your masculine and feminine energy. They feel like you know exactly what you want for your life. You're not at all confused about that. And they do view you as being willing to make the necessary changes to make that happen in your life. This person does feel a level of, it's like a magnetic connection to you. It's like no matter what this person does or where they go, they do think about you. That's prevalent. This person is very inspired by you. They see you as someone who's willing to do whatever it takes and for the highest good of others. Like I feel like you're a teacher in some way with the Hierophant, a mentor. You're very generous with your knowledge. And there is this level of like, no part of me is trying to take the power and be the only one in control. You're not a dictator. You're a true leader. You're a true king. You do consider the perspective of others. You do want other people to be just as aware of themselves and their goals as you are. They very much recognize this in you. You really amaze this person with what you are able to do and create in your life. The changes you've made. This person is just like, I don't know how you don't second guess yourself. This person in the Two of Swords energy, I feel like they get stuck on decisions. They are very indecisive. And even though you may both be very much similar and the same, I feel like with the blindfold signifying having to lead with your intuition, that's exactly what you do. You lead with your intuition even when it doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let's switch decks real quick. All right. Are there any actions this person might take towards you? Queen of Cups neutral. Seven of Swords. That's not good. Oh, that Seven of Swords came out over the Seven of Pentacles. Let me get some more details real quick before I say what I'm going to say. Eight of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this person is going to, we got the Magician at the bottom. We do have a conversation here that is desired to be had from this person. And here's where I'm just like a little bit iffy, okay? Seven of Swords doesn't always mean lying. It can also be strategy, okay? And I feel like where the strategy mixed with lie is coming in here is that this person could want to have a conversation about progressing things forward, putting an effort, you know, a new opportunity, planting a seed of growth here and saying, could we possibly work on this some more? Would you be interested in seeing where we could actually take this if we're both actually putting in effort, if the consistency is present? Is there anything that we could not overcome if we're both invested? My only issue is that perhaps this person doesn't really want to open up about the lack of investment before. They may not want to explain why they waited so long with that Seven of Swords going over the Seven of Pentacles. They may just be like, I understand you would have felt some type of way about that. I can't explain why I did that. I don't understand why I did that either. Other than I was not connected to my heart. I was telling myself lies. But ultimately, I feel like this person is afraid to even say that, because that admission says I wasn't as in control as I was trying to present myself to be. I think that requires a level of vulnerability. Again, there's the vulnerability with this masculine energy, just exposing their thoughts, communicating that, sharing their heart, and revealing the truth of their self. There is this like hesitancy about, if I share that with you, would that be well received or not? Or can we just let bygones be bygones and let's just move forward, okay? How would you feel about this conversation, darling? Page of Wands. You know what? I think you're going to have to lead with your intuition here. But I do think you'll be excited to hear from this person. I think even if you don't get a full explanation as to why, who I'm reading for, this varies, okay? I'm going to read this in two different ways. The first thing that I'm getting is that even if this person is just open enough to say, I don't understand why I did what I did, but I know that I just want to be consistent now, and I'm hoping that's enough. That may be enough for you. You may get excited by that. For others of you, you could be on to new things and just thinking about your inner child and what makes you happy, and you might say, I got to think about what makes me feel good, okay? You may also kind of view this as like a little bit immature. You might wonder if this person is this another attempt at getting back in and there's no real change, and how am I supposed to know that there's change or that there's this level of maturity, that you've really grown up, if you're not even willing to think about and really analyze why you do what you do. And there could be a level of shame from this person about that. Like, I do feel like this person is aware of that. This might be difficult for you. You may be happy to hear from them, but it might be difficult for you to be really excited about the potential of some consistent effort here, because there is that hesitancy, like, did you actually learn? I need to understand that you understand your own thought process. Because if you don't understand your own thought process, then you can't address why you do things the way that you do things. And I don't want child energy in a leader position, right? Okay? Four of Wands. The Magician. I think what's so cool about you, okay, is even if you put the pressure on this person to be like, okay, well, let's just build and move forward, that's not enough substance for me. You will challenge this person with the Five of Wands. There will be a challenge here if this person just tries to say, like, let's not talk about before. Let's just focus on moving forward. I do believe that you will be 100% like, that's not how we learn our lessons. And I think that will be healthy in a sense, because you're just like, here's what a stable foundation for a connection requires, okay? You want to create something great in your life. You want this stable foundation. You want to manifest union and family and stability and that excitement, you know, could be twin flame energy with the Four of Wands, doesn't have to be. But you're just like, we want that. Then both of us have to be on the same page about what stability means. And that means being willing to have difficult conversations and work on that, build upon that. I think what's so cool about you is that even in your confrontation and you're like pushing the issue, it is very much like, what are we learning? And not from like a judgmental stance, not like I'm so much better than you, I know so much more than you, but you're just like, it's not even about me. You don't need to explain that to me. You need to know for yourself why you do things the way you do things. And when you become aware of that, then you can change the pattern if it's not serving you, if you don't like it. But if you refuse to look at it, if you are too ashamed to do that, if that is just something that you want to hide away and let that be a skeleton in the closet, that will sit there like a cannonball in your pocket and it won't go away. Whereas if you look at it and we talk about it, it relieves the burden immediately. Then we can both understand what the plan is. I can work with you to create an action plan for when these specific triggers come up or something. If you understand yourself unapologetically and you understand the way that you work, then I can work with that. But if I don't know what I'm working with, if you don't know what you're working with, then how can we create anything of substance here? So I do feel like you challenge this person to reevaluate and say, maybe addressing before is not in some power grab attempt. Maybe it's so that we can actually change the pattern. Maybe it can be constructive and not destructive. Maybe it's for learning rather than shaming. Something like that. Okay. I was going to say any advice. We got the Ten of Cups on bottom, so for those of you that this resonates, this is like the love of your life. You're someone who leads with love. You couldn't not lead with love if you wanted to. That's one of your superpowers. And that is one of the ways that you really impact everyone around you. is your abundance of love and understanding. Now, I do feel like you have implemented this in a way where you're just like, I also deserve my own love and understanding. So I don't think that you are self-abandoning in the least bit. You're like, I want the family, I want the structure, I want the emotional intimacy, I want to know you soul to soul. I want to completely understand you, and I want to be completely understood. And maybe we won't completely understand each other, but maybe just a baseline of just like, I mostly understand this person, and maybe we don't share the same perspective about this, but we're always working together to try. There's this feeling with, you're just like, love is very inclusive, and it involves integrating consideration of other. This is what makes you so remarkable. And I just feel like Spirit wants to really acknowledge that side of you and say, this is a really beautiful trait within you. And this is one of the most beautiful traits and examples of unconditional love, true soul love that you've really shown. That always shines through you, okay? It's not been unrecognized, okay? Okay, any guidance here? The Magician, the Magician 3 times out. 3 times out. With you in this like Hierophant Magician position, right? I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know and that you aren't already fully empowered within yourself. I think that's something that is it's such a breath of fresh air. Yeah, breath of fresh air. I almost messed up the way I said that and then I didn't. So that's funny. To me, at least. Because of who you are, and because of your huge, giant, gushing heart, okay, you very much recognize that everything in life is an opportunity to address and grow from it, no matter the outcome. And I feel like no matter what happens here, you just being in alignment with that sense of empowerment, with your sense of self, of knowing what you're capable of creating, with seeing how much power you have. That's really the most beautiful gift that you could have been given so far, was really seeing yourself for who you are, okay? And I love that you empower people to find their true source of power, their true self, through the facade of what they believe is their true self. Okay? Any other suggestions? King of Swords. Queen of Swords. And the 3 of Cups. Okay. 4 of Wands. Okay. Got the 10 of Pentacles under the... Oh my gosh, and the Empress. Look at that. Empress, 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. Clear communication. Understanding each other's perspectives, very important if you want. This may need to start off as just building a foundation of friendship, right? Rather than thinking about jumping into full-blown commitment. And I think that is wise in this situation, because it's one thing to say something or to desire a change. It's another thing to actually implement the steps here. So that may be necessary to just really build the foundation of friendship here, and then see if it builds into, marrying your best friend. That type of energy. It's up to you. You're in this like Empress energy right here, very self-empowered, but recognize the value that friendship can build when it comes to, if you're both on the same page that you're wanting and looking forward to a future goal. Like, that's okay to have that on the table, but to say, before we jump into full-blown ass commitment, can we make sure that like we're actually able to do the healthy thing mutually as friends, with commitment in mind? That doesn't mean not being exclusive. It just means like maybe don't expect a ring immediately. Maybe be okay with doing things properly, taking it step by step, having some fun, and then working through the hard issues, being there for each other when you're needing it, as friends. Let that be something that's possible if you're interested in that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave this here. I hope that something in this reading resonated for you. Please let me know in the comments if it did. It means so much to me. I appreciate every single one of you who share your story. I read every comment and I value them so much. And I want to thank you guys for being patient and understanding with me. There's a lot of energy that I feel and deal with here, and I am so grateful to. But I am definitely in a place where I'm having to preserve my energy and stay as clear and grounded as possible. And I just want you to know that I see you, I appreciate you, I value you so much, okay? Okay, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you so much. Take care, and ta-ta!